Hello and welcome back to the unit tutorial for Geography Year 5, Unit 1, Asia, Mountains, Volcanoes and Earthquakes. This is video part 2.
This video will walk you through the following areas: how to adapt activities and lessons, how to plan for the inquiry question, and key moments within the unit to look out for.
Adapting activities can be easily done by using the ebook workbook and the snipping tool to paste the activity onto a Word or Publisher document and edit it. From there, you can print it and stick the adapted activity into your exercise book or directly over the workbook original activity. You may be familiar with the snip tool, but it can be found by searching in the search bar or simultaneously pressing Windows, Shift and S. Drag your mouse to highlight the area you want to copy, and that selection of your screen can be copied onto your clipboard and then onto your Word or Publisher document. I'm going to run through the activities in the workbook from lessons 1 to 10 and give some suggestions on how you may adapt them. You don't have to use my examples or even adapt at all, but these are suggestions for ways in which you could. Support pupils in lesson 1. You could have the atlas ready in advance. You could have a copy of the atlas page with the key information highlighted. You could add an example label in. You could add the starting letter to the boxes. You could print the keywords for pupils to stick in instead of write. And you could create definition boxes for pupils to stick next to the keyword. Stretch pupils by asking which place they'd most like to visit and why. Support pupils in lesson 2. You could highlight the keywords in the text. You could have the atlas ready in advance. You could have a copy of the atlas page with the key information highlighted. You could add country names to the map. And you could highlight the region names with the same colour as on the map so pupils know where to look. Stretch pupils by asking them questions such as which region is the biggest or which region has the most countries, etc. In lesson 3, you can support pupils by highlighting the key information in the text and having the atlas page ready in advance or copied with the key information highlighted there, and add a multiple choice option as an answer. Stretch pupils by asking them to answer activities such as write a definition for natural order. To support pupils in lesson 4, you could highlight the key information in the text or have the atlas page ready in advance or copy with key information highlighted. You could list the country names for pupils to add. You could add an example or a starting letter to the labels. And you could give a multiple choice option for an answer. Stretch pupils by asking them to answer questions such as, what is a tectonic plate? In lesson 5, you can support pupils by again highlighting that key information in the text and in the question, by adding a few example numbers to the task, by highlighting the keywords in one colour and matching that colour to the corresponding information in the text. Stretch pupils by asking them to complete a challenge activity, such as can you write a 1 to 2 sentence summary about what a mountain is? In lesson 6, you can continue to highlight the key information in the text and question and offer those multiple choice answers. Stretch pupils by asking them questions such as, why do you think the group of volcanoes is known as the Ring of Fire? Again, in lesson 7, you can support pupils by highlighting the key information in the text and question, and instead of expecting pupils to write their own answer, offering them multiple choice options. Stretch pupils by asking them to answer questions such as true or false, all volcanoes are dangerous to walk on. In lesson 8, you can support pupils by adding some letters in advance to the task, by highlighting key information in the text, by adding some country names to the map, and by stretching pupils to answer questions such as, why are earthquakes dangerous? In Lesson 9, you can support pupils by again highlighting that key information in the text and in the question by offering multiple choice options as answers. You could also add a sentence starter or a bank of keywords that people should use in their answer. Stretch pupils by asking them to answer questions such as, why do some buildings need to be earthquake proof? And in lesson 10, where you can see there's extra reading, you could print the reading text from the slides instead so pupils have it in front of them. You could also enlarge the text if necessary. You could highlight the information in the text, offer a multiple choice answer, or give a sentence starter. Stretch pupils by asking them to answer questions such as, what happened to Japan in 2011? Once lesson 10 is finished, pupils then need to complete the inquiry question. Remember, lesson 10 is only 1 hour long, so pupils have time to do this. The inquiry question for this unit is, what are natural disasters and how do they impact the lives of people living in Asia? To support teachers with implementing the inquiry question, we have created an inquiry question support document, and here you can find the information you will need and an additional activity for pupils to complete. This could support them as a planning activity, be a recap of the entire unit knowledge to refresh memories before the assessment, or be edited into the assessment itself. The inquiry question support document for this unit can be found with the other resources on Oxford OWL. Your inquiry question could be answered as an extended write, a poster, a presentation, a question paper, a multiple choice quiz, or whatever best suits your class. For every unit, there are elements that will need to be planned in advance by the class teacher. You'll need to print the knowledge quiz booklet for pupils and plan where you'll keep them between lessons. This could be in a pile with you or slipped into the front of the workbooks. You'll need to plan an engaging hook, how you get pupils interested and engaged in the learning to come. You could take them on a trip, on a bus journey, or make some art. You'll need to print off any additional resources per lesson, and not every single lesson may have an additional resource, so make sure you check before you teach. And you'll need to gather resources for specific lessons by reading through the unit planning guide. Hopefully, you now feel confident about accessing and teaching this unit. Any questions, please send to primarymastery@artcurriculumplus.org.uk, and we welcome all feedback to ensure that these resources are as supportive as possible for you and your pupils.